It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in my Swedish little town today. And I thought I would talk about our Swedish individualistic culture. I'm Swedish, I'm born and I'm raised here, and I have found it hard to get close to people and to build new friendships as an adult. I've been wondering a little bit, why is it so hard? These past hours I was just thinking about these things, and I thought I would talk about this today. I think that a big part of us being very individualistic as people here is the welfare state. We're trusting the system wholeheartedly, perhaps even too much. But there is a difference. I think there is a difference in our mindsets depending on where we live in Sweden. Not long ago, I talked to someone coming from the north part of Sweden, and he told me something interesting, that in small villages in the north, people are helping each other out. Like the neighbors there are helping each other and tend to have a more collective mindset. But not here. When you come further south part of Sweden, we do not tend to be so helpful to each other. This is interesting. So I think in the parts of Sweden where people live far away from towns and services, these small villages tend to be much more collective. When society is far away, you rely on your neighbors more. You could share your tools and you check in on another. The community there becomes a practical necessity also for survival. But the closer you live to the system, to the state, to services, to everything being available here in Sweden, the more individualistic people become. And when the welfare state is always nearby, you don't need your neighbors in the same way. You learn to trust the system more than people around you. And I think that shapes how we relate to each other. I think a lot of this comes from how we are raised and how I am raised here in Sweden. We grew up with the idea that independence is the goal, to move out from our parents as fast as possible. You should manage your own life. You shouldn't need help. You shouldn't disturb anyone, because the welfare state takes care of you so much. So we don't build these same social reflexes and supports that many other cultures have. We don't actually need our families or neighbors for survival actually. So we don't learn to rely on them emotionally either. When I moved further north in Sweden for a while, to a small little town, I felt the contrast a little bit in the mentality of our Swedish people. I felt lonely for over a year. It was so difficult to connect to another person. I think the social circles up there, they are already deep, they are already established, and it's something that it is built over generations. It is very hard for a new person to be invited, and I really felt that. Then I moved to further south part of Sweden again. I'm living in the middle part of Sweden, by the way, and here in this little town it's much easier to talk with people. People are more open to talk here and such, but still it is difficult to connect with someone more in a deeper level. If you have been to Sweden or you have been living here for a while as a foreigner, you will notice this Swedish individualistic culture, especially in the bus or in the train or in the workplace. In the bus, for example, we avoid eye contact and we keep our large personal space. We want to rather sit alone on a seat. We don't sit close to each other if we don't have to. We are rather on ourselves, looking out to the window and are in our own bubble. And I remember once at a bus stop, waiting for the bus, someone stood very close to me while talking, and I instinctively backed away without even thinking. And he didn't notice. He just followed me as he kept talking. And I realized how deeply this distance is built into me as well. In our Swedish culture, we are extremely conflict avoidant. We don't raise our voices. We don't argue in public. We don't say what we really think if it might upset someone. So silence becomes a way to keep the peace. So that is also why it's so hard even for me as a Swede to make new friends as an adult. If you didn't keep your childhood friends, or if you moved to a new place and you lost them, these childhood friends, it can feel almost impossible to start over socially. Many people in Sweden live in quiet, involuntary loneliness today, because our culture makes connection so slow and difficult. I don't want to say it's hopeless. They are very kind and open-minded Swedish people too, but it's just that it's harder. It's like our Swedish individualism has two sides. It gives us privacy and freedom and independence, but it also creates distance and isolation and a kind of emotional coldness that isn't intentional. What do you think about our cultural individualism here in Sweden? Where do you think it comes from?